Even though without Christ saying that, we would all be in the dark. We wouldn't all be able to just understand that what John the Baptist taught was Elijah the prophet and that Elijah himself wasn't coming. But if you read Malachi, you think Elijah himself coming, right? Now, I just wanted to make this point. I just wanted to make this point because you was talking about last time, you was talking about 2 Thessalonians and you was talking about capital G referring to God and man of sin. Like, man of sin is actually written in capital letters too. That's funny. See, that's man himself trying to actually portray a doctrine through capitalizing things, because in Hebrew and Greek ain't no capital letters. There is no capitalizing man of sin. So when you read the original text, like I got a Greek Bible on my computer, the Greek New Testament, Septuagint, man of sin, temple of God, all that, ain't no capital letters. So who took it upon themselves to express capital G, capital M for man of sin, trying to give it a title when in the Greek you would never get that inclination. It would just say the man of sin. And so all I'm saying is that it's just little things like that where the title, whoever wrote it, the man of sin, like a chapter title or something. So everybody like, ooh, that gotta be a person because look how it's capitalized. Well, in Greek, it wasn't capitalized. It was just said. Just like in Greek, Elijah, the prophet coming, was just said. So how can we prove that the man of sin is an individual and is not a spirit, just like Elijah wasn't an individual to come, but it was a spirit to come? A doctrine, a teaching, a spirit among the people that came through John. But John wasn't Elijah.
It said he was going to come in the spirit of Elijah. When you read that and it explained in the New Testament, it said he came in the spirit of Elijah.
But is that what it said in the Torah?
Huh?
Is that what it say in the Torah? Do it say the spirit of Elijah or do it say Elijah?
But the thing is understanding. They speaking with understanding of what the Torah was talking about.
But that's in hindsight. Because they explained it to us, we understand that. But when you read it, what do it say? It say Elijah is coming. So I'm not disagreeing with you because I believe that what the apostle said, just like you said. I mean, just like you do. All I'm saying is that when you read the Bible, things like that stand out where you have to be like, okay, hold on. And to even go further, they even capitalized it. Where in Hebrew ain't no capital characters, it's just the characters. But it say in Malachi 4 and 5, behold, I will send you Elijah the prophet. So who from that reading would understand, oh, he gonna send the spirit, or he's gonna send a teaching that would be Elijah? If I'm just reading that and I done read all the Old Testament up to that, I'm like, oh, that's that Elijah dude, that prophet who got taken in the whirlwind chariot. Oh, he coming back. See, that is what that gives you. But then something else was revealed. All I'm saying is that man of sin is written and everybody just made it an individual. But it's other things I read that convince me it may not be an individual. That's all. And that's just totally dismissed. That's just totally dismissed to fit a doctrine.
As you said, the beast, and even with the beast come the false prophets. We know the beast system that you're talking about always had one individual over that system. Just like even God's system ties all the way down from the nation of Israel to the tribe of Levi to the sons of Aaron to one son of Aaron in high priest. So this is the same way with the beast system, God's system, or any system. It may be a big system, but you got to go into the layers of the system and find out where that one is. The false prophet, it's many false prophets, but when they say the false prophet, you have to go through that to get to the main false prophet.
But what about Elijah the prophet? I just read you, Malachi said Elijah the prophet. Come on, man. You got to meet it with the same measure, You got to. Because if you don't, then...
In all actuality, Elijah the prophet did come. But that's how he came.
How did he come?
Came through John the Baptist and what he did.
But it wasn't John the Baptist was not Elijah. He said the teaching of John was Elijah the prophet. He said that expressly. The teaching of John, not John himself, because John was who he was.
Even Elijah.
Huh?
Just like Jesus came in the spirit of truly David being the son of David.
Okay, so and I'm not killing that. All I'm saying is that in Revelation, you brought up the beast. If that beast get tossed in the lake of fire alive, that burned with fire and brimstone, that beast was described as having 7 heads and 10 horns. It was not described as an individual the woman was riding. It was described as a government system. But people don't understand how the government can be thrown in the lake of fire, just like people don't understand how death itself will be thrown in the lake of fire that burn with brimstone. So come on, it's just, let's not just easily explain this because
talk about it. Understand it.
Right. But what I'm saying, listen, but when these points is made, it's automatically said that I'm off my rocker because our teachers didn't teach us that. That's basically the vibe I've gotten. See, you're not the only cat we talk to. You already know that. I'm talking to you today, but we talk with many people who believe, you know, something we don't believe. And
thing is,
that's just that.
Literal and symbolic. It's literal and symbolic. You have literal things being said and some symbolic.
Wow, the government's ready to draw the line.
Huh?
And this kind should be the line.
Lord draw the line. It's not why I draw the line. It's his right and his spirit saying right things. So when they being written, the thing is we got to understand it. That's why he speaks in a dark way, because unless he just give you the light, you won't be able to see it. So when dealing with these things, we have to take the time out and try to get the light. And these things are so vast that you have to spend, as I tried to do here, dedicate a month to it.
Right.
And you deal with portions of it. So even like today's show, I dealt with about an hour of talking over scriptures that need not be. If we gonna talk like this, we could have just had this conversation. Because the thing is, I believe all the parties here know what each other stands on a lot of stuff, but there's areas that we don't truly know what others stand and how they stand, what they stand. So if we can talk back and forth and say what you mean and what you mean and what your scripture for that, then we can put stuff on the table to be able to identify what we're talking about. But we're not able to do that unless we ask each other questions. I didn't want to go through an hour reading scripture. I wanted to have this conversation so we could put scriptures more in conversation.
I told you when you asked me I have anything to say, I said I just want to hear what's going to be said. I wanted to hear. I'm gonna be slow to speak, and I'm gonna be slow to speak and quicker to hear what's being said. So once I listened for an hour, I got the idea of what you was saying through all the stuff you showed. Okay, now you basically is making the same point that I was making, but it's just what is being chose to be held on because of the doctrines that differ. And
without
you know, that's all.
The understanding of how New Jerusalem, how the temple of God, how the one in heaven was going to come down, even in the fact that the Father and the Son is the temple. We still can't say that anyone has stated how they going to come down and how the temple of God, them, going to be dwelling amongst man now and not in the heaven.
Hey, let me ask you this.
When I point out it is one in the heaven and it was one on the earth. And we call the temple of God. But how is the temple of God that's in heaven right now going to come to this earth and be all that this could be, even with us seeing Jesus, who was devastated, was the temple amongst us when he stated, I'm going to destroy his temple.
Hey, can I ask you this question?
He was amongst us.
Can I ask you this question? I ain't gonna say ask you this question. I want to point out this, and I just want to see what y'all might think of this. Now, that city that is being seen, I believe it's all symbolism. And I don't believe we're going to see a literal city like the size of New York or whatever the size of Jerusalem is now come out the sky. I don't believe it. But that's me. I understand you do. In Revelation 12:1, John saw a great wonder in heaven. Just like he saw this city come out of heaven, he saw this in heaven as well. He saw a woman wearing the sun with the moon under her feet and upon her head a crown of 12 stars.